Greetings. Welcome to our show, Ghosts Are Near, where we discuss various aspects of the paranormal and paranormal exploration. I am your host, Keith Johnson. I am also the founder of New England Anomalies Research. With me is my co-host and co-founder, Sandra Johnson.
Hey there. I'm way over here tonight.
Hello, Sandra.
Hi, Keith.
And many of you will recognize our special co-host this evening, Brian Harnois.
Hey everybody, how are you?
Yep.
Yay!
Glad to have you, Brian.
Thank
really
you.
glad.
Very glad to be here, Keith. I appreciate the invite.
Can you believe it? Can you believe it?
Of course, like Sandra and myself and Carl, Brian is a former member of the Atlantic Paranormal Society and a former cast member of Ghost Hunters. And, of course, you're working on your new show right now.
Yes, new show coming out in January called Ghost Hunters International. It'd be the same premise as Ghost Hunters, but we're just doing all overseas stuff, doing the places like Chillingham Castle and going to all the different places around the world. So it should be a blast. I'm enjoying it right now.
Great. Expanding your horizons.
Yes, finally. No more states, just get me over with the old ghosts.
And, of course, in Europe, there's a different concept of ghost and ghost hunting, so to speak. So it's pretty much a different ball game over there.
Very big, different ball game. It's going from baseball to football. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just totally different.
Well, if anybody can handle it, you can.
I'm trying.
I trust you.
Thanks, Keith. I appreciate it.
I know there are a lot of people that are really waiting with bated breath for this series to start.
Yes,
it's exciting.
It's well worth the wait. We got some really good stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I'd like to welcome our studio audience, our live studio audience. Hello, live studio audience. Great to have you. And it's really fortunate that we have Brian with us tonight because we're going to be analyzing some evidence that's new to us as well. First time we've seen it, we're going to be analyzing it right on camera, right on our show.
Should be interesting.
Yes. Let me introduce our special guest this evening. Mr. Joe Burke is an independent filmmaker and producer, and he's been working on a project called Exchequer, correct?
That is correct, Keith.
And it is about, it's a kind of a ghost story, right? Mystery, ghost story.
Yeah. It's a ghost, it was actually a ghost story, murder mystery. It's about a gentleman that is a young man named Peter Murphy. He was an Irish immigrant, and he died at age 23. He was murdered in Newport, and it's a story about a person that Peter Murphy was the early inventor of the fluorescent light, and he was all set to fortune and fame and everything else. And this tenement house owner's son, who was a gambling alcoholic, murders Peter Murphy and steals his invention and goes patents it and goes on becomes a multi-millionaire. Mm-hmm. And what happens then after that is he's buried in the common burial ground, Peter Murphy, and there he is for about 100 years. And along comes this gentleman named of Johnny Kelly, who's kind of an eccentric millionaire, lives in Newport, and he loves, he's into ghost hunting and he's into history. Those are two things. And so one night he's coming home and he's listening to a late night radio show, and he hears some group of ghost hunters that claim they can record the voices of ghosts using digital recorders. So he said, well, "This is pretty cool."
I've heard of that.
Yeah. So he goes. So he goes into the graveyard and he starts recording voices, and he gets information from people that say areas that are haunted in Newport, and he goes in the common burial ground. He comes across this funny little stone that says HY7 on it, and this is where Peter Murphy was buried, and that's a stone. Just about all the letters have washed away, and records the voice "Avenge me." And he says, wow, this is pretty cool. So what he does is he puts together a group of people, a autopsy specialist and a lab tech and a gumshoe detective and also the historical expert and these two attorneys, these two lawyers, and they go and do the investigation, and they find that this wealthy family called the Merchant family in Newport have absolutely no claim at all to their fortune and fame, that, in fact, Peter Murphy is the person that belongs here. So they go and they prove it, and they do this investigation, and finally, in the end, they find an heir to Mr. Murphy, because when he died, his girlfriend was pregnant at the time and didn't know that. And so this young man ends up in the end, getting a fortune of $500 million. And it's all solved thanks to good old Johnny Kelly and listening intently to these various ghost hunters that spares him to do this investigation.
Sounds like it would be a true story.
Yeah,
I
a
mean,
lot of people.
Is it based on?
No,
on
it's not.
truth
It's
at all?
not a true story. A lot of people ask me, said, "Boy, this thing actually did happen," you know, because
Sounds like Rhode Island history.
Yeah, it does, you
Yeah.
know. And when you look at the history, especially the history of a lot of our socialites, very wealthy people in Newport, we did this movie. We started shooting. We've got 53 scenes done so far, and hopefully a little bit of luck, we'll be releasing it next year at the hopefully in Newport at the the Jane Pickens Theater. But it's going to be really a lot of Newport in it. So it's got all Newport actors and actresses and
you
musicians.
yourself are a resident of Newport.
I myself am a resident of Newport,
Okay.
and so it's a Rhode Island film through and through, and it's labor of love. But some unusual things happen along the way that we're going to talk about tonight that happen. You know?
Well, because of the subject matter, other people have experienced this before, where they're dealing with the subject matter of the paranormal, and they sometimes get more than they bargained for, almost as if it's giving it recognition, right?
Oh, yeah.
And it's kind of you're kind of calling it in, and it's saying, hey, you're talking about me, I'm going to show up, right?
Yep.
We all know the stories about, of course, the making of The Exorcist and Poltergeist. And so tell us some things that happened to you or during the production that
Well,
might be a bit unusual.
it's most of the things that have happened in the production have not really been that bad. It's almost like the Supernatural want this movie to be made because they want to recognize, you know. And I've done a lot of filming around Newport. They have a ghost tour that I filmed that last summer. And I was fascinated, you know, going around. They had 100 people on this tour. And, of course, everybody, you know, was really interested. And I showed this photograph. But what happened was we do a scene in the end of the movie where Peter Murphy is finally avenged, and he's freed to move to the great beyond. And I wanted an unusual location. And so I went out to this park in Newport, and there's a tree in this park that was really very, very unusual. The tree branches looked like it had kind of like a Heaven's Gate kind of a thing. I said, well, this is pretty cool. Suppose we have Peter Murphy walk through this Heaven's Gate, and we'll make it happen. So the first time I wanted to shoot this was in 2005. We've been working on the movie now for the last 3 years. I wanted to shoot this scene, and we used, just at about sunset, we used dry ice, and we had the actor walk through, and everything that could possibly go wrong went wrong with it. The dry ice melted too quickly. My cameraman, who's got 10 years of Hollywood experience, completely messed the shot up. We got absolutely nothing out of it, right? So that was one day of, you know, down the tubes, because I'm the producer and the director. That was money out of my pocket, you know. So that was the first day, right? So I said, a year went by, and this one scene bugged me. We did about 10 more scenes. I said, I got to do this scene again. So the next time we went out there, it was a night scene. We brought a generator, lights, and a fog machine. So here we are, we're trying to create the ghostly situation, you know, so where Peter Murphy walks to the great beyond. Get everything all set up. About 3 minutes in the shoot, everything conks out. Now, I had checked all the equipment 3 times before I went out there, so I knew everything was working. The generator was brand new. There was nothing wrong with the generator or the lights or the fog machine. 3 minutes in, everything conks out. So then I fire it back up again, right? You know, it goes for about a minute, conks out. Fires up again, about a minute, conks out. And one of my assistants says, you know, I feel kind of eerie. I really feel like we're not really wanted here, you know. They're being nice to us. They're not going to harm us, but they really don't want us here, you know.
Somebody trying to tell you something.
Somebody trying to tell me something, right? So I said, well, I got to get this shot, so I'm not coming back here again to do this a third time. So we happen to have a police flashlight. So I had him shine the police flashlight through the branches and says, let's do this shoot. We did the shot, and I did the raw footage. You know, I brought some of the raw footage for you to take a look at. It goes about a minute, minute and a half. And then I said, okay, which I traditionally do is I always get some still photographs of the shoot before I leave. So I took the camera, and this was just nothing spectacular. It's just a cheap throwaway camera. Because my digital camera was not working at the time. So I took 6 shots of my actor walking through the tree. And I'll just show you one of the pictures right here. This is just one of the regular shots that we have of, of our actor walking through the tree down below. And nothing unusual. This is the man playing Peter Murphy, good friend of mine, Nathan Keogh.
Okay.
And nothing unusual.
Hopefully we can get a close-up of that.
Can we get a close-up of that?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very good.
And those are the first 5 pictures. Nothing unusual. And it was pretty interesting. But then I came across the 6th picture, which I had developed, and this is what we saw on picture number 6 here. And as you can see, there we are right there. I got the glare out of the way. My actor is down below there in the tree, but up top here, if you look very closely in this area right here, you'll see what looks to be a...
Right, so we're actually looking right
yeah,
here.
right here, yeah. It looks to be a young girl between the ages of 13 and 15. She's dressed in early 20th century garb, it looks like, a long dress, and she has a bonnet on, and it looks like to be her mother looking at her in the corner. And lots of kids climb this tree during the summertime, during the daytime. But just to see this tree and see these different things here, I just said, well, this is really unusual, this picture here. And again, it was a clear night, no fog, nobody was smoking cigarettes. The only thing we had was a police flashlight showing.
Right.
And but to have that kind of distortion, and then of course the history I've heard from your cameraman,
Yeah.
different
Right,
stuff that's
Jesse.
happened, Jesse.
To
It's
Jesse
just
a little bit.
absolutely incredible. So I mean, this is what this is something I think after listening to the history of Jesse talking about, that there were possibly hanging there of a family. And so this could be something a little bit deeper
Not
than just
necessarily from that tree,
Right.
but in that area.
in that area there. And so, but I just think that it was just a situation that they just very gently saying to us, don't come out here at night, And I've been out there just at sunset many, many times. It was one of my favorite hangouts in the summertime. And I like to go out there and pick them up with a lady friend of mine. And we always leave just before sunset because of it just starts getting eerie. I just feel that
Yeah,
they don't
people
want us
area
there.
that did that to
Don't
you.
want us there in that area there,
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty cool, that picture there. And so I mean, here's a situation where we're shooting a ghost story murder mystery and trying to get, recreate things using technology, but the technology failed. But in this case here, they actually did have a ghost appearance here.
Yeah.
We have,
I understand you brought some footage with you to show too.
Yep, we have. This is the actual footage that we shot. It's about 1.5 minutes long,
Okay.
and it was us. This is, as you can see, really, nothing unusual. No humidity, no fog, nobody smoking
Right.
on the set, and so I mean, to have that kind of crystal clear situation, but yet have this distortion on the photograph.
Now, is there
really-
anything unusual in this footage at all? Or just
I didn't see anything unusual. The only thing that was usual was there was just a feeling, there was just an uneasiness there. We all felt kind of uneasy. We wanted to kind of like wrap this shot up and get out of there
Yeah.
Exactly.
as fast as, not hang around there.
Well,
you
maybe
know.
we'll be able to see the atmosphere.
Yeah, this is
when
not the
we-
kind of place you
Yeah,
want to hang
right.
around, drink a couple of beers, and smoke a cigar. You know?
Yeah, right.
We want to get out of
Yeah.
there. You know?
Well, maybe
And,
some
I
of us would.
understand.
But that's what I saw. You know?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, some of us might want to get out there with our tape recorders and stuff.
Right.
I think
Yeah.
it'd be
Depending.
fascinating. I think it would be
Those
very
kind of
fascinating.
atmospheres attract us, people like us.
Yeah,
I
usually-
don't know what that says about us, but
Yeah, he wants to get out of there with the cameras before sunset, and we usually wait till sunset to get the cameras
right,
in there.
yeah,
You know?
right, that's our cue. Yeah, that's our call.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a look at that footage, and when we come back, we're going to do some analyzing of the photographs, see what we come up with. Okay. So if we could
Sounds
bring
like a
that
plan.
footage up, we'll take a look at it. Okay, that's good.
In action. Action. Okay, go ahead. Fantastic. And a little humor there. It's, you know, just to make things comfortable. We don't have the wings and the gates and the pearly white gates, right? He walks in the most comfortable place of all, and that's a favorite pub that he used to hang around. So he walks into the pub, and all of his friends that he knew, you know, when he was alive, are there waiting for him, and they greet him, and he comes in, and of course his lady friend, who was the bartender, he goes up and surprises her, and you know, she hasn't seen him for 100 years. So it's a big kiss and hug, and that's all.
And it should be like your favorite pub. Right?
Yeah, you know, it's, you know, we always think of a vision of the wings and the, you know, coming up there, the, you know, the Gabriel and that pearly white gates. You know.
More of my dreams were like that, rather than just nonsense and things like that. Frustration stuff. You know, but let's do some analyzing here. What we got here, of course. Of course, you've seen it and everything like that, and as you can see, that's what we're looking for. You can actually see the image right here, and it looks pretty clear when you get a good look at it.
Yeah, I know our audience probably can't see it as well as we can, but...
you want to get a look at it and see if you can just get one more look at it? And
we had a lot of photos on this, and I'm sure Brian can back me up.
Yes.
You know, with what we call ectomist, and you know, I think you probably call
psychic
ectoplasm or whatever.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's see what you two think of that. What's your opinion, Brian?
Joe, just for references, point out where the girl in the bonnet and all that stuff's supposed to be.
Okay.
Right here.
It's supposed to be right here.
Okay, is that the face right there?
Yeah, the face right up here.
There's the actor, right?
And then she has a dress, and she's standing on top of the branch there.
All right.
Okay. And what style film was this again that you were using for this photo?
What is this thing?
Tree,
this was just actually just a throwaway camera that I was using.
Just disposable.
Kodak throwaway camera. Nothing unusual about it.
Nothing
you know,
special or fancy.
Nothing special.
No
bells and whistles.
No, just meat and potatoes, you know, photograph. You know, which I've done on every shoot. And, and it just was that one situation there that really was really bizarre. Made it happen.
But you know, that needs to be done. I mean, if it is paranormal
bring it to the experts.
Although, you know, I'm interested in the whole
paranormal investigators, and I know Brian and Sandra will concur with me that you often take maybe
that's what I thought he was
70,
talking about in the first place, because it does look
before
like a face.
something comes out. And sometimes, like you just take 2 or 3 or several, and something comes out.
Present our findings to them.
It's nothing you can really predict. There's really no method that's going to be guaranteed to bring results. But.
All right.
Okay.
So what do you got, guys?
Go ahead, Sandra.
All right. Well, what we were discussing is that, you know, the picture as a whole, the mist itself is what first catches your eye. And you know, to me, that could be some sort of paranormal anomaly in itself. I find it, and I think Brian agrees, that it's sort of hard to pick out the girl there.
And the reason for that too, and I don't want to think I'm just
throwing
your stuff down.
By all means.
As you can see from this picture right here, you see this is where the girl's face is supposed to be. There's a lot of leaves there. Now that could be matrixing. It could be the mist could be coming in, and like putting a shadow over the leaves and actually making you think that there's something in the mist. Like sometimes we'll get pictures in, and matter of fact, one of them was kind of weird. It was a baby in a baby seat, and it looked like the Virgin Mary was on the baby seat kissing the baby. Like it was actually, you see it in the car seat. When you take the baby out of the car seat, it's just an impression. It's like with the way the cloth was moving.
You could sell that on eBay, you know.
Oh, it's not mine. It's not mine.
Spirit in a bottle.
But didn't they have a pizza a couple of months ago?
Toast or something. Jesus in the toast or something. I don't know.
Toasted cheese sandwich.
Toasted cheese sandwich. That's what it was. Yeah.
I'm very interested in is this right here.
Okay.
This piece of of, as you can see it here, this actual anomaly right here.
Okay.
Whether it's mist or,
Now,
or
you know,
whatever
it's
that is,
unusual.
it's a
Now,
different
somebody
color.
did point out to me, in fact, the gentleman blew that up to me. He says, you know, it looks to be a photograph of a man, the face of a man, looking in that tree right there. Now, whether or not that was the...
Now see, now this is what really gets me right here, is this. If you can see it from this picture, there's nothing there. There's no leaves, there's no... And then you get this orangey, reddish mist right there with, like, actually looks like it's like coming up from the tree.
It
That's
does have a reddish hue.
Yeah, and it's
we
got
don't-
like that like curve to it right there.
When you first said that you saw a person in the photograph, that's what I thought you were talking about.
Yeah.
Because it kind of does look like a face.
Now I'm not trying to throw this off because
Yeah.
that could just be matrix and stuff, but this, in a whole, I believe is paranormal. I mean,
Okay.
I've never seen. I've seen a lot of mist pictures. I've seen like cigarette smoke, very easy to debunk. It's actually a bluish smoke with a gray, like the outline of it's gray.
Right.
So that's very easy to throw away. This right here, I've seen a lot of paranormal mist. I know you have.
Right.
And this is a pretty good picture.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is pretty good. I mean, I can't see the faces, maybe because I don't have no depth perception. I have no depth perception whatsoever. Actually, when I was in the Air Force, that's the only test I failed.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, it could be a face in there. I'm not too sure. But myself, I think that's pretty good. I think there's something in that picture right there that's just coming out from the tree.
Okay.
Like something was like, you know, this is my tree, go away. You know?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So-
I'm here.
And the best thing about this is, and you know, as any paranormal investigator will tell you, you know, you snap one picture after another, so that you can compare. And this is what you'll get. You'll get a picture with nothing in it, like Brian was saying, and then you'll get, you know, something, and then the next picture will have nothing, more than likely.
You always take sequential pictures. You always snap,
Right.
snap, 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 because
Which is basically what you did, right?
Yeah.
Right,
Six
that's,
pictures.
took 6 pictures, because I want to get him
You
walking
weren't
through the
trying,
tree.
for anything.
No.
Paranormal or unusual at all.
I was not looking for anything unusual at all.
You weren't
You were
looking
just
for
looking
anomalies. You were just
Straight pictures so I could use, because it's like, you know, when you do your promo for your movie, you want to have all these different photographs you use for, you know, either the set itself or the poster, or you know, also for just for record. You
plus
know,
continuity too, just in case you need to do the shot over again. At
Absolutely.
least you know everything's
Absolutely.
there.
You know, and so I mean, it's just that's what made it unusual, was the fact that there was no effort at all. In fact, the fact that I was trying to get, you know, the equipment, but this wouldn't work at all.
What do you think, Keith?
It's
I mean, it's pretty good. I mean,
Yeah.
I've seen a lot.
yeah.
of,
I mean, compared to the natural picture, it's just
like I know you have, as well as I have, gotten those pictures where look at all the mist in the air, and this guy's sitting below there with a cigarette in his hand.
Oh yeah, definitely. So, but as you pointed out, there is a difference, a definite difference with
Yeah,
this. And
it's definitely a.
you know, if you want, you can see features. I mean, just the basic shape. You know, the eyes and the open mouth there.
You just have to be careful. Like, I don't know if you heard what Brian was saying.
Yeah, I
about
mean, it's very easy
matrixing.
to make
I don't
that
know if
out.
you've ever heard of that term.
It's what your mind, like your mind will look at something, your eyes will look at something, and your mind will make a picture out of it.
Right.
Yeah, like
You know,
looking
like-
at the clouds and the. you
Yeah,
know,
like the clouds in the sky. Exactly. Very
Right.
good. Very good. Yeah, and that's what your mind does. It just registers familiar objects in your mind, in your head, so that you have to like sometimes rule that out, because you'll be like, oh, we get a lot of pictures of people taking in the woods, and they'll be like, oh, look at the creature standing there, and then they have like 4 or 5 pictures before and after, and you come to find out it's just a bunch of leaves, but it may look like some kind of evil, demented creature that's like stalking you, but it's not. You know what I mean? It's just a bunch of leaves. So it happens like that sometimes.
But the other point that I wanted to bring up was that not only do you have this picture, but you also had the problems with your equipment at the same time. And there's another term that we use as paranormal investigators called coupling. You have one piece of evidence and you can couple it with another. Okay, maybe we have something here. You know, maybe this isn't just, you know, somebody's breath or fog or whatever, because we also have this other piece of evidence that was going on at the same time where your equipment was malfunctioning.
Oh, absolutely, and it was really bizarre, because as soon as I got back to the warehouse where I store my equipment. We fired it all up, and everything worked perfect.
Remember that one day, Keith? We were in the Berkshires.
Yeah.
And I had my audio recorder sitting on the side of your audio recorder,
Yes,
and they both stopped simultaneously.
Yes. Yeah.
Remember that?
Both stopped at the
That's
same
exactly
time.
like his.
Yeah.
All his
That's
stuff
coupling,
just-
yeah.
all his stuff just shut down, so it was pretty good.
Yeah. And that's interesting when you got more than one person's equipment shutting down at the same time.
Yeah, exactly,
you know?
exactly. Did you have a lot of that night? Did it just shut down, or was there like a lot of battery drain? Was there a lot of things shutting down because the batteries are dead, or was it?
Well, this was being fired up by a generator.
Oh, so you still you're
So
just working
the
off
generator was brand new.
All right.
And as I say, we tested it 3 times because you know what it's like. What you do, lifting heavy equipment. You don't want to do this thing again.
No.
So just to lift that generator up and get it out there was a chore, and so
course.
firing it up, getting it worked okay, and having it go for 3 minutes, all of a sudden, kaput, and that was it,
I wouldn't be a happy camper, I can tell you that much.
Thank God I brought a police flashlight with me because I
Right.
wouldn't have gotten anything.
Now, anything on audio at all, Joe? Anything unusual or?
Didn't hear anything unusual. There was, because I really haven't analyzed the raw footage yet. The audio, I haven't cranked the raw footage because it's actually kind of like a silent scene. It's going to be music in the background, so I wasn't really focusing on audio on this scene here. But yeah, that's interesting. We might want to crank up the audio on that.
Definitely.
See if we hear anything that's unusual.
I liked your choice of the EVP. You're familiar with EVP?
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Avenge Me. Yeah. I'm still waiting to get an EVP like that.
I've never gotten one myself.
No.
That is that's very good. And where's Grant Wilson to tell us what EVP is?
Right.
Well,
Electronic voice phenomena. Voices come out, presumably spirit voices on audio.
Well, I was hooked the first time. I was at this late night show.
Right.
And I heard it, and I stayed up to 5 o'clock in the morning
Oh,
recording that show.
Yeah.
And this is the first time I'd ever heard this.
Yeah.
I mean, wow, this is really weird, and that,
Well, believe it or not, we're just about out of time. So, Sandra, would you say a little bit about our contact info before we sign off and say our goodnights?
Oh, do I have to?
Oh,
Can
please,
we
Sandra, you
have
do it so
another
well.
half hour?
I know. I wish we had another half hour.
Yeah, seriously.
Okay, well, all right then. As always, we like you to know we at New England Anomalies Research are available to research local alleged hauntings or assist those of you who may be experiencing unexplained phenomena in your home or place of business. We'd also like to hear from you if you have a show suggestion or you'd like to be a guest on Ghosts or Near, like Mr. Joe Burke here. And there's our email address if you'd like to contact us. And as always, we'll believe you.
We'll believe you. All right. Well, it's been a great show. And, Joe, thank you for being our guest so much.
Thank you, Keith.
I hope you come back again when the film's finished. And,
Absolutely.
you might have more evidence for us to analyze.
Sounds great.
Yeah. Brian, please come back and join us when the season is over, or done filming, all right?
Yes, I
and we
sure
look
will.
forward to Ghost Hunters
Brian's gonna
International.
be our guest.
Yes,
Yeah,
I,
he's gonna be our
I'll,
guest.
I'll be your guest, I promise.
Brian, thanks so much for
Thanks,
joining
Keith.
us and helping with
Appreciate
the analyzing
Oh, my
of the
pleasure.
photos.
My
Very
pleasure.
much.
Thank you very much.
Opinion.
Thanks for bringing
thank
those,
you,
Joe.
Brian.
Appreciate it.
All right, good night.
Good night.